Hi everyone, it is David Mead here, and we are back with another live Neca session. What a great honour it is to join all of you here. As you know, we are joining you every single week to give you tons of exciting updates about Neca Live 2020, the 100% virtual convention that will help you grow your business, grow your team, and grow yourselves. We are live across LinkedIn, Facebook, and also on YouTube. So hello to everyone joining us there. And let's go straight into the comments because we get such great engagement every single time we appear. We've got Adolfo, beautiful name. Thank you for joining us, Adolfo. We've got Alex is coming in from Chicago. We so wish that we could join you in person this year, but we will make sure that this virtual one is one to remember in your honor. We've got some friends coming in. Tilak is coming in. Thank you so much for joining us. Joel is coming in as well from Milwaukee Tool. Great friends of Neca, great friends of the delegates, and great friends of the convention for a long time. And we have perhaps our biggest fan of all time, Vanessa, is with us every single week. Thank you for all of your engagement. And Darren is coming in, and he's incredibly excited about it. I am excited about it too, Darren. I cannot wait. And we've also got Al Colquitt, and a beautiful little picture of, I presume, your daughter there, Al. What a gorgeous little girl. So as you know, this year we are going 100% virtual. We're going to make sure that even though we are delivering in challenging circumstances, that Neca still delivers for you, for your business, and for your customers. 100% virtual means that we get to maximize the education, the networking, and the commercial opportunities. It will, of course, be October 6th through 8th. And remember, registration is now open. So let's have a little sound effect. So registration is now open, and if you want to secure your place on the early bird rate as a member, then go to necaconvention.org immediately to reserve your spot. I know the one thing that you love more than anything else about Neca Convention is the wonderful opportunity that we have to engage in education. And the educational program is not high quality just by chance. The team work every single week on making sure that it meets your needs and is current and relevant to the issues going on inside in the world at the moment. And this year will be no different. So this week I am really excited and pleased to be joined at the last minute. He's really helped us out by Neca's Vice President of Education. It's Pete Mastrorocco. Pete, thank you so much for taking the time to join us here today. How are things where you are?
Things are well, David, and thanks. It's nice to be with you today.
It really is. And don't worry, Pete, this is only going to be short. We'll be here for about 2.5 hours. But I am fantastic. Here in Ireland, we have got an uncharacteristically sunny day. So it is really nice to be. I'm going to see if I can go out and get a little tan before the day is over. But I am mostly excited about convention that is coming up so quickly. Pete, can you believe it is now just around the corner?
Yeah, we're excited for an amazing event this year.
Well, look, it's great to have you join me, and we're here today to talk all about the education, and it is famous for the quality of the education and the impact that it makes for members. How is education going to be addressed in Neca Virtual this year?
So, David, education has really transformed this year, especially with the situation that we find ourselves in. From March 18th to date, we've had more than 23,000 registrations for online education from our Neca stakeholders. This year, the education is really shaping up to be the best education in the history of the Neca conventions. We've put together a schedule of the best speakers and made sure that we have topics that really cover every facet of the industry. You'll be able to watch every minute of the education for the first time in the history of the Neca convention.
And I think that's incredibly exciting because I know how tough it can be as you're roaming through the halls, networking and meeting friends and colleagues in the industry. Deciding what to attend can be really tough. So, I mean, what sort of sessions, what are some of the topics that we'll be covering? What can we expect this year?
So, David, our members can expect sessions on everything from risk management to improving your work-life balance and communication to cybersecurity. With this year's virtual audience, as one of our 5 E's, and again, they are expand, educate, engage, entertain, and excite. We wanted to make sure that we're providing a balance of educational topics that will prove valuable in all areas of your work and life. So from making sure that your business is safe and profitable to helping you stay personally at the top of your game, there will be something at Neca 2020 Live for everyone.
And speaking of everyone, we are so pleased again to have so many people joining us from all across the world. We've got our good friend Jack Savage, who is no stranger to the Neca conventions. Thanks for joining us. We've got Todd Reed is coming in and really excited for Neca Live 2020. Deborah is joining us as well, all the way from beautiful Arizona. What a wonderful place, Deborah. I wish I had your weather. And I know that Neca always gets a wonderful welcome when we visit Arizona. We were there for Neca Now, and it was fantastic. It might be the hottest weather I've ever experienced. I felt like I was a lasagna, but I enjoyed every second of it. We've got Jennifer Baxter as well, coming in from Knoxville, Tennessee. So thank you to everyone who's taking the time to join us as part of this session. And I suppose, Peter, I wanted to ask you, famous for the speakers is a phrase that I keep hearing every single year. They're always blown away by the quality, by the scale, and by the recognition of the international and world-renowned speakers that we have on the stage. Who do we have coming up this year?
So, David, we've got some phenomenal speakers lined up for Neca stakeholders this year. You're actually one of them. So, in addition,
well, Pete, with compliments like that, I should renegotiate my contract.
I didn't say you were one of the best ones. I just said you're one of the speakers we have lined up. So, in addition to serving as our MC, as you've done in the past and done an amazing job, you'll also be presenting a handful of sessions, including some that are targeted towards how to improve and grow your business in this new virtual world we find ourselves in. You know, we really rolled out the red carpet this year with speakers for Neca 2020 Live to ensure that all of our members are getting the best of the best, whether your company focus is inside construction, outside line, low voltage, whatever the case may be. Neca 2020 Live will bring unprecedented value to Neca members, with speakers from Alex Willis talking about high-performing teams, to Dr. Alice Domar talking about battling perfectionism, to Deborah Fine helping to improve your communication skills and your communication techniques. We are providing a first-class educational experience for all of our Neca stakeholders.
And you know what's most important to me, Pete? You know me fairly well at this point. I attend hundreds of events every single year. And I mean it when I say what separates Neca Convention is the educational programs are applicable. So often I attend keynotes from very inspirational speakers, very fun speakers. But when I look at my notes at the end, it's quite hard to work out what I might actually apply. But every single one of our speakers has got something really practical to take away that you can use immediately. And I think this year that becomes ever more important, because in the past, one of the feedbacks that we've often got is that it's so difficult to decide which session I'm going to attend. My friend's going to that one. Can I share their notes? How do I manage this? I hate to miss out on something good. But apparently we've worked really hard to fix that this year.
Yeah, so that's one of the things I think that is most exciting about Neca 2020 Live, is that in addition to the live sessions and the ability to interact live with a particular instructor, every session will be recorded and available on demand for 30 days following the convention. So, David, this has two great benefits for our members. You know, we recognize that it may be a little harder carving out specific time or dedicated time to the convention with all of the everyday activities swirling around you, right? So with this format, you're not tied to your desk for all 3 days of the convention. You can pick and choose which sessions you want to watch live and bookmark those sessions that you want to watch on demand at a later time. And it allows you to consume the convention how you want it, on your terms.
And I think that makes it a graduate program for a professional in the industry, because Yeah, we know it's wonderful to spend a few days with our colleagues in the room, but this means that you're not just getting that chocolate box approach of the things that you happen to be available. It means that
Right.
you're not always feeling horribly conflicted that I'd love to meet that supplier for a coffee, but you know what? I don't want to miss this education piece either. This really
Right.
does allow you to get the best of both worlds. And I know that this year in particular, I mentioned in my intro that Neca always works really hard to listen to the pulse of the industry and to the country and the world as well. And this year, the pulse is telling us that diversity and inclusion has never been more important. It's a conversation that we've been having for a long time, but right now it is number one in the agenda. How is Neca responding to that voice?
So, that's a great question, David. We've learned that great leaders emerge from extraordinary and difficult situations. The events of the past several months have really heightened our awareness and underscored the need for transformative cultural change to ensure a more diverse and inclusive electrical construction industry. NECA is committed to lead the charge with development of an educational track for NECA 2020 Live to help our contractors navigate change in this area. NECA 2020 Live will leverage some of today's premier thought leaders on diversity, inclusion, and belonging to provide inspirational guidance in addition to outlining specific takeaways for our contractors to ensure greater diversity within their own organizations immediately. We look forward to announcing these sessions and speakers in the coming weeks.
You know, it's that variety of voices, people from different spaces and places and different points of view that makes our organizations rich and powerful and strong and strategically safe and better on every dimension. So to see that
Right.
that is part of the program is encouraging for everyone. And I know one of the pieces that I liked in particular last year, I got to deliver some education sessions that were right inside the trade show floor. And the reason that was so fun was because right beside all of these cutting edge product innovations and through these world-class supply chain relationships, you could also pop out and get front-end, brand new, innovative style education and learning. And I believe we're recreating that same experience this year as well.
Yep, we are indeed. So we have an entire classroom, David, dedicated to the trade show education that will be running all day, every day. These sessions with our exhibitors and premier partners are an essential part of our programming and something that our members have really come to embrace and appreciate. NECA diligently works with our exhibitors to ensure that they're not just providing you with a sales pitch. These sessions need to be educational and they need to present real life problems and process improvements that our NECA stakeholders can benefit from.
You know, I think it's appropriate also, isn't it, to recognize that this has created real challenges for everyone in every industry and in every sector. Your members, Pete, are having a tough time. And this experience of pivoting to virtual has been, let's be clear, it has not been without its challenges for Neca as well. And I'm sure as an education professional like you, this must be a really extraordinary time to make sure that education is still accessible by every single member of NECA, whether we can be in the room together or not. As someone who has dedicated a career to education, it's a really great opportunity, isn't it?
So, as I mentioned at the onset of our call, David, you know, we when this pandemic started to wrap its arms around our industry, the CEO of NECA, David Long, and Tracy Walker posed a challenge to the education team and said, "Listen, we want to make sure that we are filling this void left by this situation with educational content for our members and their employees." And so if you look back at history, we had a little over 2,000 registrations for online educational content in all of 2019. And as I mentioned, just since March 18th to date, we're over 23,000. So NECA
Wow,
has
way. I mean,
NECA has
that's
responded,
phenomenal.
and we are working diligently to provide our member contractors and their employees with good, valuable content.
a few weeks ago when we had David Long on the session, he said that his goal was to reach as many people as possible. And to think that we have already got engagement from over 20,000, it's breathtaking. And I think it's so encouraging to see the industry coming together. And also Neca making sure that they're standing up independently and supporting the industry. Because in moments like this, education is the most important thing for us, isn't it, Shirley?
It really is, and kudos to Stephanie Adamek and the whole education team for having so much of their operational house in order to allow us to grow at this incredible multiple.
And I have to say, if for those of you on the line who don't know Stephanie, Stephanie is like the puppeteer, the ringmaster, like the secret coordinator who's moving around the Jenga blocks and the jigsaw pieces. And I mean, she knows everything. I mean, really, we should get her working on the pandemic. If anyone could fix it, I would imagine it would be Stephanie. Well, look, Pete, before we leave off and say bye-bye to our viewers, any final words for how excited you are?
No, listen, I'm really excited to get this thing going. We've been working almost nonstop behind the scenes, from Marco's team to Jeff Fagan's team to Kevin Ty's group and the incredible team of Beth and Katie from our meetings team. Everybody, and not to leave anybody out, and if I have, I've apologized, but everybody has been working seamlessly. There's been so much cross-functional work, cross-departmental work to get this thing launched, and we are excited to see what today holds at the end of the day. In fact, this morning we were throwing some bets out there on how many registrations we were going to have in day one. So we're excited.
Oh. I like a little bet. Now, as an Irishman, I like a little bet. So maybe we'll discuss the odds just as we go offline. And before we wrap up, Pete, let's go back to our comments live on the line. We've got Leslie coming in and thanking the whole team at Neca for pulling this together. I agree, Leslie. They have done a really extraordinary thing in a very short period of time. Vanessa has said that diversity and inclusion really is at the very front of the mind of all of the team at Neca. It is a priority. We're investing hard, and we're going to make sure that we are on your side so you are prepared and that you are ready for the changes that are happening in this moment. Dustin is saying that Southwire is in the house. Dustin, what a great way of putting it, and a lovely picture you have there as well, Dustin. Who else have we got? Let me see. We've got Garner coming in from Garner Construction and Electrical Systems in Knoxville. It is so great to have the whole Neca family together. Pete, I want to thank you so much for taking time this Monday to talk to me, and I cannot wait to see you at Neca Live Virtual 2020. Thanks a lot, Pete. And thank you to all of you for tuning in. Remember, we will be right here every single Monday with brand new announcements. And remember, registration is open right now, so do not leave it too long. If you're a Neca member, you get spectacular early bird rates. So go to necaconvention.org and make sure that you've got the dates inside your diary. October 6th through 8th. And if you get busy, if something comes up in your schedule, you'll be able to access that material for a long time afterwards as well. So I'm going to thank you all again so much for taking the time to join us here. Neca is always by your side. We're working every day to make sure that Neca Live 2020 is the best convention experience you've ever had. So keep saying hello inside the comments, and we'll see you all real soon.